Very excited to be with you here today, and amazing to also follow such a great presentation that's focused on purpose and the importance of purpose. And I have to tell you that, I'm very proud to be representing Lego, a great Danish company, but also with an incredible purpose, incredible mission that has been really consistent and undying for over 80 years. And that is the mission to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. The kids, the many generations that we have already inspired and the many generations to come. And I'm really excited especially to be here today because today we're also going to be opening up our office in Dubai, which is kind of our official big commitment to strengthen our presence in this region and to commit to inspire and develop many more kids in this region. And the topic that I'm going to talk about is innovation. And I guess one thing to mention is this Lego brick has existed for 60 years. And the company has been in existence for over 80. And there are not many brands in general in the world today that actually are able to have that kind of longevity, and especially not kids' brands. And what has driven this is obviously huge passion and commitment behind our purpose, but also innovation. And a lot of people ask me about innovation, and of course they would expect somebody from a toy company to talk about innovation because we sell over 60% of everything in a given year that's new. It's completely driven by novelty. But what I really want to talk to you about is that innovation is not just about products. It's about experiences. And more than that, it's about mindset. It's about culture in a company. And I really believe it is honestly about survival and thriving of companies and brands that's going to be the requirement for the future. So, one of the questions that, I always get asked is, what do children want? And of course, we don't know. I used to work before Lego for a cosmetics company, and it's kind of like asking, what do women want? And I think many of you know that many things, but not something that you can actually pinpoint right now, but inspire us. Give us something that we don't know yet that we want, but make us want it. Well, that's very much how kids are as well. So when we innovate, we speak with thousands of kids on an annual basis, but never about what they actually want. Much more about what is it that's happening in their world. How do they spend their time? How is their world changing? And it's really our job to figure out what that world of the future is going to look like. And then, what is it that we're going to do to surprise and delight new audiences? And we're very lucky, I think, with the way that we do it. Because we have this very simple system. We call it the Lego system and play. And it's all based on very simple bricks, and I'm sure many of you, if not all of you, know what they are. But you probably might not know that just 6 of these kinds of bricks, 2 by 4, very simple, in one color, make 915 million different combinations. 915 million different combinations. And of course, for a child, every combination is something. It's a plane, it's a doll, it's a house. It sparks their imagination and it sparks their creativity. And we believe that with Lego System and Play, we can build absolutely anything. We offer an opportunity for kids to engage and build from their imagination. They can create anything they want, but also to rebuild something that they absolutely love. Imagine a small child being able to build Hogwarts Castle. Quite incredible. And what we know is that kids have a lot of fun when they do this. But as they build with Lego, they also acquire what we call 21st century skills. Skills that are absolutely essential for them to be successful in the world of tomorrow. Skills such as creative problem solving. Skills such as resilience. Learning from their mistakes and moving forward. Collaboration. Not just creativity and imagination that you could imagine, but also these very important skills that will really prepare them for the future. And as I said, we always push ourselves to innovate. And that happens everywhere in our organization, not just with people who build the products. And I just want to give you an example of something that we did last year where we actually challenged ourselves to innovate how we build a real life-size Bugatti. So for those of you who have not seen it, I want to play a short video for you.
We'd like to say that with Lego Technic, you can build for real. And to prove this isn't just something we say, but something we mean, we decided to build a car, a true copy of a Bugatti Chiron. And just to make things even more difficult for ourselves, we decided we'd also take our car for a drive. Trying to match the elegant curves of the Bugatti Chiron using only Lego Technic elements was the first challenge. Creating the engine was the second. As if constructing the car in Lego Technic wasn't enough, we also decided we'd like to power it with small Lego Technic power function motors as well. It sounded plausible on paper, but was it even possible? Would our car actually drive? Who better to find out than the guy who test drove the real Bugatti Chiron during its development? We did our last-minute checks, held our breaths, and sent him on his way. Our amazing Lego Technic car just kept on going. Lego Technic. Build for real.
You would say it's quite amazing. I've seen this video hundreds of times, and I still get goosebumps when I see it because I actually know the guys who build it. And imagine it has no glue, it's just built with Technic elements, and it's powered with small Technic motors that we use in our Technic models. So it doesn't drive very fast, but the fact that it drives and looks so beautiful is just an amazing testament with what you can do with Lego. Now let me talk to you a little bit about what we actually know about the future and the world of tomorrow. So we've done this last year as well. We've spoken with 13,000 kids and parents around the world to understand what is actually happening in their world and how do they see play, and how do they see kids play and kids playtime. And what was really interesting is that parents recognize the importance of play. That's really great because play is an essential for children's development and for their happiness. But we also see that kids have a lot less time to play. Now, many of them say, with everything going on in my life and the way and how busy my life is getting, I don't have as much time to play. And also what we see is that there isn't as much engagement between parents and children, but they actually really, really want it. Because those families that play together, they actually are much happier than the families that have less of that playtime, family playtime. And the reason why I bring this up here in particular is because, of course, this learning powers up our innovation. But I think it's also a very important signal for the importance of retail and retail brands, because that's an opportunity to bring families together. And I'll talk a little bit more about how we do it in our own retail experiences. One of the things that we see in terms of what's actually going to happen in kids' lives and how we need to think about the future is this phenomenon that we call fluid play. The kids are growing up in a world where they're completely digitally fluent. It's much easier for them to get to know any new device or any new app or any new program than it is for any of us. Because just like learning languages, they approach it in a very intuitive way. But what that means is they also switch very seamlessly between physical world and digital world. And they expect their play experiences to deliver exactly the same seamless experience. We call it stitching. They might not have as much given time to sit down and do something, but they try to engage with things that they love over the course of many different moments during their day. And if you imagine the future, as we have to do, in the future, they will expect more and more emotion, responsiveness, and intelligence coming out of physical objects. They're going to see this world completely integrating, and we need to be prepared for that. And that's why innovation is so important. And before I give you some examples of how we innovate, I want to talk a little bit about the culture of innovation and what that means. You know, one of the big things that we think about when we talk about innovation and innovation culture is that the innovation is not a job of one department. And it's also not a task of a particular type of person. Innovation needs to belong everywhere in a company. To create the future, we need to innovate across everything that we do. Not just from developing and designing great experiences, but also actually making them happen. And that requires a lot of innovation in operations, but also how we bring them to life, how we create experiences at each touch point, which of course involves our whole value chain. Innovation is a mindset. We talk a lot about children being our role models. We really believe in that. If you watch a child and how a child behaves in the playground, how they learn new things, how they tackle new experiences, how they tackle new challenges, they usually come at it with a lot of focus. They are really, sometimes they're a little afraid and then a little nudging, but at the end of the day, they're not afraid to take a risk. And if they fall, they actually learn how to pick themselves up and go. And that's very important in the culture of innovation. One of the most important things in being able to innovate is being able to take risks. And most importantly, being able to fail. Organization needs to feel comfortable in failure, because if we don't fail, if we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. Then we can't improve and succeed in the future. So this culture of innovation, you know, we want it to permeate everything that we do. And we continue to come back to thinking of children as our role models to help inspire us. So what are the few ways in which we innovate? Let me first talk about product experiences. And for us, it's very much about experiences, not just about physical products. But here you'll see some examples in front of you of how we are integrating digital in a very seamless way. A lot of people ask me, actually, this is another very popular question for somebody working at Lego. Do you think the brick is going to get outdated because everything is go digital? No, I don't think so. I actually know that's not the case. Kids will want to engage with physical experiences, but of course I don't see digital as a threat. I see it as a huge opportunity, and here you have perfect examples. So one example that you saw is a Duplo train. That's a very seamless integration of coding, where a very small child, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, can actually recognize that different bricks with different colors give different functions to the train that they're playing with. A hugely popular product that we launched last year. Lego Boost was another one that you saw. That's where it's for slightly older kids, 7 to 9-year-olds. They can build whatever they want. They can build a robot, they can build a cat, they can even build a guitar, and they can imbue it with sounds and functions. So one of the most popular things, as you could imagine, is kids love the farting sound that the guitar can make. And also they love the fact that the robot can talk back with them and communicate. And then the last example here, this is Lego Ninjago, a very popular theme across the world, a very physical theme, because we have amazing sets that we have delivered over the course of the last 10 years that kids love to build and play with. But we brought a new dimension to it, aside from having a movie and a lot of different content and play materials around Ninjago Play. But last year we also brought augmented reality to enhance their experience, and kids absolutely love that. So that's a great way of examples of how we integrate digital and enable it to actually enhance the overall experience and create opportunities for that stitching play. We also believe that innovation doesn't just belong to us. We are very lucky to have a brand that has huge followership around the world. The Lego system and play is super democratic. all of you can participate in it, build with it, create new things, and inspire us with ideas. And we have an adult fan of Lego community that is super loyal to us, and we love to nurture their talent and actually capture it in some of our creations. So we have a Lego Ideas platform. We have about 1 million people participating every year. They submit ideas, and we launch 4 of these creations a year. And you have a couple of great examples here. A scientist in Boston, Maya Weinstock, she suggested that we do Women of NASA. And we introduced that. We introduced that product 2 years ago. It was the #1 seller on Amazon within 24 hours. The other really great one is Saturn 5. There was another creation that we launched last year that was introduced by a fan. And I'm sure that the guys who build Bugatti are already thinking now, how can they build a rocket, Lego rocket that will actually go into space? But, they'll have to maybe wait a couple of years for that one. Another big area of innovation is in our marketing, in our platforms. And one of the key things here is that the draw that Lego brand has also is, of course, very prominent in social media. We have over 1 billion views on YouTube, and most of these views on an annual basis is not content that we create, it's content that our fans create. So we want to nurture that. We want to make sure that we actually capture the imagination and inspiration that our fans provide to inspire the builders of tomorrow. But we also do deliberate things in order to make sure that kids have a safe digital environment. That is actually not so easy, and it's not so simple to deliver. And most digital platforms do not deliver true safety for kids. Less than 2 years ago, we launched Lego Life. It's a fully digitally safe platform for kids. It's fully monitored, filtered, with parental permissions. Kids can engage very openly. Kids can post their creations. We have over 6 million users. I think we're hitting 7 million already. And we have 6,000 builds that are done by kids posted every single day. So that's a perfect opportunity for us to engage with them and start building their interest and their loyalty. Another great example is our own YouTube channel, where we constantly post creations, some by us, some by our designers, some also externally inspired. The final thing is that with the invention and opportunity that digital provides, we also want to tackle some of the problems that kids have when they start building with Lego. So this year we launched digital building instructions. And these instructions are not one-size-fits-all. They're actually based on kids' mastery, their level of knowledge of Lego, and it allows them to actually take it step by step. And we know that for new builders, this is a really important experience. Retail is under a lot of pressure today, but we also see retail as a huge opportunity. Of course, the pressure that's being created, both with the e-commerce channels that can provide a lot of convenience, also with just the external environment that's putting a lot of pressure on retail. You can see it, and you can see it in the toy category in particular, with a lot of big companies closing their doors, unfortunately, last year. But we see retail as a big opportunity, only if we can rise to the challenge and the question that is required of us, which is, how do you create a true added value experience in the retail space? So I want to give you a few examples of how we do it. We have 430 stores around the world. We have about 14 flagship stores. These are the ones with all of these stores I'm mentioning have the Lego brand on them. And we see that as a continuous opportunity for us to open more stores, to engage with more families, to engage with more kids and more adults. And at the same time, we also, of course, work very closely with our third-party retail partners, because we believe that the Lego experience has to be unique and special, also in the retail space. So a few examples. One of them is the fact that we want to create only here and now experiences. You see an example here of the Big Ben. That's from our Leicester Square store in Lego in London. It's our flagship store. What's unique about this Big Ben is that right now it's the only Big Ben in London that actually chimes, because the real Big Ben is under construction for the next 2 years. This Big Ben is built with 20,000 bricks. It's quite big. It's right in the front window of our store, and we have people lining up to listen to the chimes of Big Ben. That's, one of a kind of experience. But we also do a lot of deliberate experiences in store to engage kids and to engage parents, with a few objectives. So one, for example, is the importance of that immersive Lego experience, hands on bricks. We have a couple of ways in which we do it. We have pick and build, which is a wall of bricks that's designed by our staff, where kids can go and think about what they want to build, and then get some advice about which bricks they need to get. We also have personalized minifigs that they can create only in our stores. We actually build tables for demonstration of our products. That's another way to provide a very immersive experience, which we know actually, of course, results in significantly higher revenues as well, because they want to purchase once they actually understand how things work. Another really big innovation is augmented reality, where they can hold up quite a few of our boxes against the screen and actually see the whole product, the whole set come to life, including all of the wonderful functions. So we focus a lot on how we provide these unique experiences to our consumers when they walk through the store, so that it becomes a real unforgettable experience, a real connection with the brand. But I have to mention that one of the big and most important advantages that we have is our own staff. They provide this incredible personal care. We measure our store experience with NPS, and our NPS is over 80, which I think in the retail business is pretty unparalleled, all due to the kind of care, the kind of interest and engagement that our staff provides to everybody who walks through the doors. Some of the most recent innovations, one of them is Mosaic Maker, where kids or adults can take their own picture, and they get a box literally sent to them where they can build it out of mosaic, Lego mosaic. That has been really popular. It's consistently in our top 5 best-selling SKU in our stores, and we continue to introduce it in more and more locations. The other one here is the innovation that we brought in last year, working together with Facebook. That's Ralph, the chatbot. And he was helping a lot of families trying to buy presents for their children during Christmas last year. We saw that in places, in markets where we had this activated, where through a very easy questionnaire, Ralph was actually helping families to find the absolutely perfect present. We more than tripled the purchases that are happening online. It would be remiss for me not to talk about innovation if I don't talk also about storytelling, because that's another way in which we innovated Lego brand and made it so powerful, engaging, and meaningful and relevant to different generations, including adults and not just kids. And I want to talk a little bit here about Lego Movie. It's topical because the Lego Movie 2 just opened. It's opening now in key markets. And I want to talk about how we innovated the Lego Movie, because of course it's a sequel. But in this sequel, I think we're making even a bigger statement about the importance of Lego play, about the importance of creativity, imagination, but also very importantly, that it's not just for boys, but for boys and girls alike. Because we bring a brother and sister together and show how differently, but together, they play and experience Lego. And I want to play a trailer for you from this movie.
We are from the planet Duplo. We are here to destroy you.
Hello, visitors from another planet. There's no need to fight anymore. See? Friends.
Ooh.
Lucy!
Emmett!
They took Lucy and the others. Hang on to your fronds, Planny. Asteroids! You mind if I save your life? Not at all. Rad. The name's Rex Dangervest. This is my ship.
Are those dinosaurs?
What are you doing in space? Aliens kidnapped my friends. I'm going to get them back. That planet is ruled by an alien queen.
I'm a queen, whatever I would not be.
The talking horse?
I could change my form if this makes you uncomfortable. Hey, guys.
No, go back. The horse was much more palatable.
Come with me on this adventure to save my friends. Teach me to be tough. Let's go find your friends.
Who's a good boy? Yes, you are.
Emmett!
Lucy!
You look different. Did you draw stubble dots on your face?
What? No.
I got a payphone and a play phone. I gotta get it, baby. I can never stay
You miss me?
No, I did not.
Sorry, banana keeps slipping on his peel on the way out. You gon' bruise your butt.
You almost forgot me, guys.
Oh, did we?
I'm literally a lantern. How did you miss me?
I promise you there's something there for everybody, so I encourage all of you to go see the movie and also recommend it to your friends and obviously kids. They'll absolutely love it. And we focus a lot in bringing this movie to life in all of the key moments of truth that we have with our consumers, and of course, delighting them in retail. Whether it's in our own stores or whether it's in our third-party partner with our third-party partners, whether physically or online, we want to engage every visitor because these moments are really important. We call them the moments of truth because it could be the first moment when they're encountering this theme. It could be the last, but it really should be as imaginative, as exciting, as inspirational as the movie itself. We're really excited about the future. We think the future is full of opportunities. It's full of things that we can accomplish if we just innovate and think about our experiences holistically. And we're particularly excited about the opportunities here in this region. As I already mentioned up front, I'm very happy to be here today. I just flew in this morning, and I'll be opening our first office here in just a couple of hours, and that's a really big milestone for us at the LEGO Group. We believe that there are many experiences that we can bring to kids in this region. We believe that we can inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow here in this part of the world, and it's really important for us that we do it, that it's boys and it's girls, and that we actually continue to innovate with this audience in mind. So, thank you very much. I really enjoyed speaking with you this morning.